Hello everyone, welcome to TMC Hub channel. My name is Prashant. So in this video we are going to look at some schemes and committees which were released by Government of India and some states in the year 2022 from the months of January to July. And also we look at some brief description wherever the scheme needs for the better understanding. So jumping into the first program, it is Ujala program. Ujala means Unnat Jyoti by Affordable LEDs for All scheme. It is under the Ministry of Power and it has successfully completed 7 years of distributing and selling LEDs on January 5, 2022. It means the scheme has started in the year 2015 and down the line 7 years. Now we are in the year 2022. And the next one is a 5-member committee constituted by Supreme Court of India. So what's the reason the Supreme Court of India constituted the 5-member committee? It is to probe the security breach during the recent visit of Prime Minister to Punjab. So we all know that Punjab people are undergoing a Hartal strike to repeal the farm laws, and as a part of that, PM Modi have visited the Punjab, and they were obstructed the visit of Punjab. So to look into this security breach, Supreme Court have constituted a committee, and the main thing we have to remember here is that who is the head of the committee? The head of the committee is the former Apex Court. Apex Court means Supreme Court. So the former Supreme Court judge, Justice Indu Malhotra. He is the head of the committee, 5-member committee constituted by Supreme Court of India to probe into security breach. So the next one is RYSK. It means Rashtriya Yuva Sashktikaran Karyakramam. So the central government of India has decided to continue the scheme for another 5 years from 2021-22 to 2025-26. The definition of youth in the policy of National Youth Policy 2014. So it is centered around the developing of youth. The next one is Pradhanmantri Sampada Yojana. So the main thing is it is related to farmers, and whenever a scheme is related to farmer, it is very much important for the exam, because as you know that in the post-independence era, in the 1950s to 1960s and 1970s, Indian economy is mainly dependent of agriculture. But down the line now we are seeing that the contribution of agriculture sector to Indian GDP is very less. So many schemes are launched to raise the income and for the betterment of living standards of farmers. So in this regard, whenever a scheme related to agriculture comes into the picture, it is very important. So the now scheme is Pradhan Mantri Sampada Yojana. This scheme is administered by the Ministry of Food Processing and Industries. And in May 2017, the central government have launched Sampada. It means Scheme for Agro-Marine Processing and Development of Agro-Processing Clusters. The scheme name was renamed as PMKSY. It means Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana in 2017. Earlier, the scheme was named as Sampada, and in the year 2017, it has changed into Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana. The next one is PM Cares Fund. Prime Minister Citizen Assistance and Relief in Emergency Situations Fund. It means whenever there is an emergency situation in certain state or the entire nation, there were some funds released by the Prime Minister for the allocation to people to get a short relief or to get the necessary food and cloth shelter during the emergency situation. The fund is a public charitable trust with the Prime Minister as its chairman. So the chairman of PM Cares Fund, as it is named as PM Cares Fund, the chairman is also Prime Minister. And the main important thing to remember here is that who are the other members included in this PM Cares Fund. The other members include Defense Minister, Home Minister and Finance Minister. In the exam, they may ask that they may give other ministry name, and they also ask that who are the other ministries present in the PM Cares Fund. So they are Defense Minister, Home Minister and Finance Minister. The next one is SMILE. SMILE means Support for Marginal Individual for Livelihood and Enterprise. So it is a central sector scheme. So write a short note on difference between central sector scheme and centrally sponsored scheme. The difference is very much important for the exam. So the SMILE is a central sector scheme launched by Union Minister for Social Justice and Empowerment. It is also very important who is the which ministry is implementing the scheme SMILE. It is Social Justice and Empowerment Ministry. The minister is Dr. Virendra Kumar. It aims to provide welfare measures to the transgender community. See, it is centered around transgender community. They are very vulnerable section of the society, and the people engaged in act of begging. It means who are in the act of begging for the survival. It is centered around this transgender community, and beggars who are very vulnerable. Vulnerable means whenever a situation, crisis situation occurs, they are the most affected persons. So for providing a relief, the Smile scheme have been launched by the central government, and it is a central sector scheme. The next one is Saubhagya. Saubhagya scheme. It means Sahaj Bijli Har Ghar Yojana. The scheme was launched in the September 2017 with the target to electrify all households. It is same as the scheme like Ujala scheme, which is also distributing LEDs for providing electricity. And other schemes, Saubhagya also launched to with its target to electrify all households. A recent survey shows that Rajasthan tops in and least performance by Himachal Pradesh and Jammu Kashmir. So the main important points to remember is which state tops in the Saubhagya scheme and which states are in the bottom list. The state that tops is Rajasthan and the least performance is by Himachal Pradesh and Jammu Kashmir. The next one is Scheme for Economic Empowerment for DNTs. It is launched by Union Minister of Social Justice and Empowerment. Again, the same ministry have come, which have launched the program scheme, and the same ministry have launched the program Scheme for Economic Empowerment for DNT. The scheme is also a central sector scheme. It is also an important point, and it is launched in the National Capital Territory of India. It is New Delhi. The next one is Mere Policy, Mere Saath. It is launched by Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare under the Pradhanmantri Bima Yojana. So, Mere Policy, Mere Health is a part of Pradhanmantri Bima Yojana. In the exam, he may give other scheme and may ask that Mere Policy, Mere Health, Mere Haath is a part of which type of program. So, the answer is Pradhanmantri Bima Yojana. These types of questions have already asked in the different exams, and it is also a very potential question may be asked in the future exams. So, it is a doorstep distribution drive to deliver crop insurance policies to farmers. It means there is not necessary for the farmers to go in separate institutions to get their insurance policies. As part of this scheme, they will distribute the insurance directly to the farmer's house. The next one is Rashtriya Uchatar Shiksha Abhiyan. It is launched by Ministry of Education. See, it is a centrally sponsored scheme. Till now we have seen central sector scheme. It is central sponsored scheme. As I said, write a short note between central sponsored and central sector scheme. So it aims at providing strategic funding to higher education institutions throughout the country. It is not related to a particular state or union territory. It is entire nation. Launched by Ministry of Education. The next one is PM Kisan. Other scheme which is centered around Kisan. It means farmers. So this is also very much important. So it is a central sector scheme. It is implemented by Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. The same ministry which is implementing the scheme Mere Policy, Mere Haath. The center transfers an amount of rupees 6,000 per year in 3 equal installments. That means 2,000 for each installment directly into the bank accounts. It means direct benefit transfer (DBT) of all land holding farmers irrespective of the size of their land holdings. So there are some important points in this scheme. The first one is PM Kisan scheme is central sector scheme. Okay, the next one is it is implemented by Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. The other is the money is directly created into account of the farmers. It means direct benefit transfer. The last important thing is it does not matter what the size of land. It is equal for all the size of land holdings. So these are the very much important points in this PM Kisan scheme, and there is a very high chance of asking question about this scheme. The next one is ICMR DHR policy on biomedical innovation and entrepreneurship. So as the scheme is biomedical, so obviously it will be launched by Union Health Ministry, a fellowship program for medical professionals, scientists and technicians in medical, dental and paramedical institutes. So it is for the professionals and scientists and technicians for their encouragement. The next one is Samarth scheme. It is launched by Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises. The main theme is to provide skill development, which is very much lacking in our Indian workforce, Indian labor force. We should turn them into workforce by providing a skill development. So to provide skill development and market development assistance to women and to train more than 7,500 women candidates from rural and suburban areas. So the Samarth scheme is mainly centered around women. So especially for women, so it is also very much important to provide the skill development. So there is a difference between workforce and labor force. The Samatha scheme is to turn labor force into workforce by providing their skill. It is launched by Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise. It means MSME. The next one is Donative Pension. It is launched by Union Labour and Employment Minister Bhupender Yadav. Under the new initiative, citizens can contribute to the pension fund of their immediate support staff such as domestic workers, drivers, helpers, etc. by donating a premium amount. So it is a voluntary program. We can say that a person who thinks about the society and who thinks about the living standards of people who are struggling for their livelihood and doing service for the nation, every employee who is earning well good amount, so he should donate a small amount of his money for the pension of the domestic workers, drivers, helpers, which is, it may be small amount for the employee, but it is the lifeline for the small scale workers like domestic workers and drivers. So it is the main thing is it is launched by Union Labour of Employment, and the other main thing is it is a voluntary program. It is not any forceful or conditional or obligation. It is just a voluntary program. The next one is National Land Monetization Corporation, NLMC, National Land Monetization Corporation. It would monetize surplus land. See, surplus land and building a surplus means extra land and building assets owned by central public sector enterprises (CPSEs) and other government organizations. So it is not monetizing any land held by private members. It is converting land into monetization of land held by central public sector enterprises and government organizations. Gender Samvad. It is organized by Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana National Rural Livelihood Missions under the Ministry of Rural Development. The next one is Credit Guarantee Scheme for Subordinate Debt. It is to provide credit to the promoters of stressed MSMEs. MSME means micro, small, medium enterprises, which SMA2 and NPA. NPA means non-performing assets who are eligible for restructuring. So there is a scheme, there is a program like bad banks which converts a non-performing assets into standard assets. So the credit guarantee scheme for subordinate debt is also related to the same one. The next one is hobby hubs. The only important thing to remember about hobby hubs is it is launched in Delhi government. The next one is School Chalo Abhiyan. It is launched in the Uttar Pradesh state. The next one is One Health Framework. It is launched by Government of India's Department of Animal Husbandry. Not by any specific ministry, but it is Department of Animal Husbandry and Dairying. It is launched in the state of Uttarakhand to create a national One Health roadmap. The next one is Pradhanmantri Yojana. It is with the goal of granting loans up to 10 lakhs. So the amount is very much important. It is 10 lakhs rupees to non-corporate, non-farm, small and micro enterprises. So it is for non-farm and non-corporate. It will give a grant a loan up to 10 lakhs. The next one is Swanidhi Se Samriddhi. So the only important thing to remember is it is launched by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. The next one is Mukhyamantri Muftu Sewer Connection Yojana. It is launched by Delhi government, not by central government. It is launched by Delhi state union territory government. The next one is breakfast implementation. Tamil Nadu is said to become the first state to offer breakfast along with midday meals. So this is also very much important because Tamil Nadu have the very ongoing most important scheme is National Education Policy 2022. It is trying to bring the revolution in the education and offer a very good education not only by sticking to the books and study but also cultural activities. It also suggested to offer the breakfast, and Tamil Nadu is the first state to offer the breakfast. So as this is very important, write a short note on National Education Policy, like which committee suggested it, what is the changes happened in the National Education Committee, and till now what the education policy we are following. So write a short note on these points because it is also very potential question that may come in the exam. The next one is Environmental, Social and Governance, ESG. The SEBI means Security and Exchange Board of India. It has launched a ESG, Environmental, Science, Social and Governance. Generally, when a person sees the environmental, social and governance, he will think that it may be related to Ministry of Forest, Environment or Climate Change, or Ministry of Social Justice, or Ministry of Human Development, Human Resource Development. But it is launched by Security Exchange Board of India. It is not at all a ministry. The committee will be chaired by Naveen Munot, the Chief Executive Officer of HDFC Mutual Fund. So the ESG is not a government, not chaired by any minister. It is chaired by CEO of HDFC Mutual Fund, Naveen Munot. The next one is Pradhanmantri Kalyan Anna Yojana. It is to show care and compassion towards the underprivileged and vulnerable parts of society. The next one is Gati Shakti. It is very much important scheme. Gati Shakti Sanchar portal. Sanchar means searching. So it is under the Department of Telecommunication. See, whenever there is a single line, it is very much important. It is launched by Department of Telecommunication. The only thing is to remember this Department of Telecommunication and not all any other things. The next one is Bharat Tap project. It is launched by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs at Plumbex India exhibition. Here the exhibition is not important, but which ministry have launched the program Bharat Tap project. It is launched by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Generally, there will be a confusion among the students when they whether to decide Ministry of Rural or Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Here, the Bharat Tap project is by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. The next one is Taranga Hill Ambaji Abu Road New Rail Line. It is approved by Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs constituted by Ministry of Railways. So here the main thing is who have approved it. The approval is given by Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, and as it is a rail line, it is obviously constructed by Ministry of Railways. The next one is Skill India Mission. It is also very much important because it is also part of converting labor force into workforce. So it is an initiative of central government. See, it is not any state government. It is initiative of central government to empower the youth with skill sets, making them more employable. So to inculcate the employable qualities in the labor force and to turn them into workforce, Skill India Mission is playing a major role. So it's also very much important. The main thing to remember is it is a central government program. The next one is PM Ayushman Bharat Health Infrastructure Mission for the India's enhanced health services delivery program and transforming India's public health system for pandemic preparedness programship. So in the recent time we have the India along with other countries have been affected by COVID. In that time we have seen that there are not sufficient beds for many patients. So to remove that drawback, the PM Ayushman Bharat Health Infrastructure Mission have been launched for transforming India's public health systems for pandemic preparedness. So in future, if we are hit with any pandemic, we should not face the crisis which I have faced in the time of COVID. So the next one is Pradhanmantri Vaya Vandana Yojana. The program is a social security program for the elderly. That means old people or senile people that aims to provide them with guaranteed minimum pension. The next one is PM Cares for Children scheme. Earlier we saw PM Cares Fund and it is chaired by Prime Minister. The other members are Defense Minister and Finance Minister. Now we are seeing PM Cares for Children scheme, especially for children who lost their parents due to COVID-19 pandemic. See, it is only for the children who have lost their parents in the recent pandemic of COVID-19. PM Modi has promised a sum of 4,000 rupees per a month. So every month the child will get a lump sum amount of 4,000 per month. The next one is Pradhanmantri Bharatiya Janaushadhi Pariyojana. It is implemented by Pharmaceuticals and Medical Device Bureau of India. So this is the first time it is coming into the picture. So it is also very much important to remember. It is implemented by Pharmaceuticals and Medical Device Bureau of India. The scheme is Pradhanmantri Bharatiya Janaushadhi Pariyojana. The next one is PM Kusum Yojana or PM Pradhanmantri Kisan Urja Suraksha Sevam Utthan Mahabhiyan Yojana. So simply remember it is a PM Kusum Yojana. It is launched by Government of India. So as the name indicates PM, it is obviously launched by central government. It is Government of India. So from the name itself we can see that it is Kisan. So to financially support to install solar irrigation pumps. So the main thing to remember is PM Kusum is centered around solar irrigation pumps. The next one is Shrestha. Shrestha means scheme for residential education for students in targeted areas. which are underdeveloped or which are vulnerable or which are secluded from the mainstream, which are in the tribal areas. For them, the scheme Shrestha have been launched by Union Minister of Social Justice and Empowerment. The ministry is very much important, and for whom this scheme have been launched. The scheme have been launched for targeted areas and launched by Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. The next one is Har Ghar Dastak 2.0. So it is the second phase of Har Ghar Dastak. The campaign's main aim is to immunize people by taking vaccine and enjoying the benefits. So we are at the end of the video. The next one is Uday Desh Ka Aam Nagarik. It is a centrally sponsored scheme. It is to enable even the very middle class and below poverty line people to enjoy the journey of flight. Generally, when a person thinks about flight, it is very costly or we cannot afford that. To remove this notion, Uday Desh Ka Aam Nagarik have been launched, and it is centrally sponsored scheme. So see, we are getting many times centrally sponsored central sector schemes. So without fail, write the difference between central sponsored and central sector scheme, and also write in the comment section what's the main difference between central sponsored and central sector scheme. The last one is startups for railways. So as it is railways, it is launched by Union Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnav. Here the name of the minister also very important, Ashwini Vaishnav, aiming at bringing about innovative solutions to problems like rail infrastructure, reduction of time between two trains, and other passenger related issues. So it is related to rail infrastructure. Infrastructure always plays a major role in the country development and the development of people. So the startup values is also very much important. There may not be a direct question from this scheme because a person can easily guess what are the question comes from this scheme, like which ministry is startup for railways. It is obviously railway ministry. What may be the main theme for startup railways? Generally, a person can think that okay, to reduce the transport time. In this way, these schemes are very much important for the exam. There are many schemes launched by the government in these 7 months, but I have gathered only the important scheme for the exam. I also know that it is very highly impossible to remember all these schemes and committees and other ranks and reports and different exercises. These are like a dumping very much information on in our mind, and never feel regret or demotivated when we are not remembering certain information. Generally, a person forgets it. The only thing we have to do is continuously practicing, revising, and talk with other people who are preparing as par with you and discuss with them, write mock test and other exams that may improve your retaining capacity. So never lose your hope and always be ready for the exam. There are very much notifications are releasing in recent times, and there will be releasing of other notification also. So never stop your preparation at any cost. So always keep practicing and get your success as soon as possible. Thank you.